Greetings, everyone. This presentation and the paper have been submitted to the 7th International Conference on the Artificial Intelligence and Education, that was the AIMEE2023, that is going to held on 9th November and 10th November 2020 at the Guangzhou, China. So the proposed presentation and the paper topic is the machine learning driven strategies for safeguarding the India's digital environment against the cyberstalking. The presenting author will be me as Chintan Singh under the co-supervision and the supervision of Dr. Himanshu Khajuria and Dr. Biswa Prakash Nayak. The stated paper ID that we received is the paper 2483. So if we talk about the word cyberstalking, it is not a new term in the cybercrime. It is the use of internet or any electronic device or a media to stalk a particular individual or harass a group of individual or any individual so that they will come under the fear of, let's say, anger, disinterest, hate, or any psychological effects. So we know that in this millennium, the internet is growing rapidly. We are more prominating towards the use of electronic devices and the internet. The internet is the primarily responsible for taking the global business to the previously unimaginable heights, promoting the tremendous improvement in the education and healthcare, and permitting the previously limited and costly global communication. Apart from these all advantages, we are also facing the different type of cyber crimes that are related with the internet, that is the cyber stalking, cyber bullying, DOS attacks, and we have many more. Okay, if we'll talk about the psychological reasons why a person will feel the act to perform these kind of cybercrime. So the first attack, the first interest come in these scenarios will be obsession and attraction. Many times the people will feel that they are more attracted towards any particular individual and they will really wants to stalk them, they want to be with them, so they started the act of cyber stalking. Then the second category, we have the sexual harassment. The main motive behind the cyber stalking, because the internet reflects the real life of some of the peoples, and that's why many of the individual will come to the act of the cyber stalking. We have revenge and hate. Hatred and revenge can also be an act of cyber stalking. It will help the peoples to get the information about any of the individual. We have erotomania and jealousy, which includes the sexual inclination towards someone or towards the ex-partner and their current partners. To know about the ex-partners, their current partners, sometimes many people started to stalk the peoples by using the online social apps that can be Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and they perform the act of cyber stalking. If we'll talk about the cases, then we have a variety of cases. It was the report of 2021 where it stated that 25 cases of stalking reported every day in India, which now came to the 100 plus cases that have been reported every time in India. So we can see how prominent this cybercrime is and why we need such strategies or prevention methods to stop this particular cybercrime. If we'll talk about the state-wise ratio, then we have a Maharashtra on the top, followed by the Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Kerala. So these particular cases have been compromised and comprehended in the form of yearly basis, and they showed the numbers in the thousands ratio. So Maharashtra have the highest recording rate, that is come till now is 62. Then the Telangana we have the 13,000, then followed by Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, and the least we can see in the Punjab. If there between these we have one more terms also, we'll talk about, that was the nature of stalking. We know that cyber stalking is a form of a stalking where the victim is harassed or threatened through the technological device. The right to life and the liberty and security are only a few of the fundamental human rights that are violated by the cyber stalking. So they can also seriously interfere with the victim confidentiality, connections, communication, so many other things. So cyber stalking is a one of a kind form of cybercrime that is responsible for instilling the terror in the virtual world. To deal with such difficult cyber stalking situation, the effective cyber stalking detection, supervision, prevention methods and techniques needs to be there. Okay, so our work here is focuses on the detecting the cyber stalking and examining the several methods for identifying the perspective of stalker using the OSIT tools. So this table here, it will depict the test subjects, which are total of 353, and have been categorized or classified on the basis of their age ratio that have been ranging from 14 to 74. So we made a group of some of the people ranging from 14 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, and so on till 70 to 74. So we got key how many people have been feel offended by the or reported the cyber stalking reports. So that is comes and does a percentage of 7.7% for the age group of 14 to 19, which includes the 5.6 percentage of the males and 7.9 of the females. So total of the 353 ratio under if we'll say about the people who were ranging from 14 to 19, they were stating among them 7.7 percentage of them were saying that cyber stalking had really affected them on a psychological basis. Among them we have a 5.6 male ratio and 7.9 as a female ratio. Same goes for the 20 to 29. We have a 25.7% people who were reporting the cyber stalking cases as a heinous crime, and 20 to 22.4 from the male candidates and 27.2 from the female candidates. So the highest percentage that have been recorded for the case of cyber stalking is for the age group of 30 to 39, in among which the 29 percentage have been male which stated cyber stalking, and we have a 35.1 as a female. So this particular age group of 30 to 39 have been most prominently showing the cyber stalking victimization, and this have been tabulated in the form of this table. If we'll move forward, we have one more table that shows us the percentage relationship reported in the stalking relationships. Okay, many of the time peoples are more towards to include in the relationships, and that's why they were going to the stalk the peoples. So this data about the harassed peoples that have been coming from the acquaintances have been reported over here. This particular table categorized or found these stalking literatures. However, a considerable proportion of the respondent classified the stalker as a belonging to a different category. These peoples were then asked to explain their relationships and the stalker, which resulted in the creation of 6 news groups. So here we have different type of groups, which shows the percentage of male, female, and their relationship with the harasser. Okay. So first over here, we have a harasser as an acquaintance. Then we have a stranger, friends, work colleagues, someone who you have dated casually, lived with someone, spouse, and others. Same we have another one more table that is going with the harasser identified by the respondents. These are the harasser that have been identified the respondents. Again, we have a male and a female ratio and their total percentage. So these all tables will help us to identify how and what is the mentality of the respondent and the harasser if we'll talk about the term cyber stalking, how they feel about the cyber stalking, and what are the relationship of a harasser if it will come to the cyber stalking scenario. Then the main part of the paper came, that was the framework for the detection and the documentation of cyber stalking. This basically consists of 6 main modules that was comprises of this framework, and this framework is only for the textual non-spam email IDs, and it have a multi-phase approaches also. So the first phase we can see over here is the email pre-processing phase. So email data will be acquired from a worldwide data set in this step and then filtered and standardized to a specified format using the keyword collected. Then we have the second phase, which was the feature extraction. Using the extraction of a spam and non-spam text, a feature dictionary and a feature vector will be created in this phase. So machine learning approach will also be employed in this feature dictionary, and the feature vector is the input of training and testing the data classifier. Then we have a spam classification, the third one. So machine learning classifier techniques will be applied to an email document in this particular phase. We have then spam email detection phases. The spam email detection module will filter and detect the classify emails into spam or non-spam email categories based on the feature extraction and machine learning classifiers. Then the second last, we have the cyber stalking pre-detection. So after an email filtering and a spam classification, the next goal will be to detect the cyber stalking in non-spam emails. So the cyber stalking pre-detection module was utilized for this. The proposed cyber stalking pre-detection will detect the cyber stalking data before transferring the email to the next phase of the cyber stalking detection module. So after this, the final stage, the data classification using the machine learning stage came. The machine learning classifier techniques such as naive Bayes, logical regression, random forest, the k nearest neighbor, and the support vector machines will be utilized in this lesson to detect the cyber stalking in the non-spam email IDs. And finally, we have the stalking of the message and evidence collection. This module will assist the other users to predict and prevent the cyber stalking when using the email. For cyber stalker documentation, the IP address of the cyber stalking email ID and the domain name information will be transmitted to the whose IP and the IP geolocation services. So these modules will help us to define the machine learning algorithm. These are the 6 of the modules. And on the next slides, we have the recommended machine learning framework for the cyber stalking detection documentation on the non-spam emails IDs. So over here we can see this particular framework have been started with the emails, and it will go to the phases of email pre-processing, then the feature extraction as we discussed, then spam classification using the machine learning techniques, the modules. Then we have a spam email detection, which is uses the different filters such as the content-based filtering, case-based spam filtering, rule-based spam filtering, adaptive spam filtering. Then it will move towards the bi-directional in the form of non-spam emails and the spam emails. So if we'll come to the non-spam emails, it will further move to the pre-detection module, which includes the cyber stalker identification, domain and hyperlink identification, and header and content identification. After this, it will go to the code dictionary and forward it towards the data classification module and the databases. So the data classification module is basically contain our machine learning techniques that we discussed, such as the new bias. Then it will move towards at the final stage, which is the performance evaluation and the message as an evidence collection module. And finally, it will go to the stalking email ID. So this framework have been help us to identify the non-spam email IDs when it will come to the cyber stalking cases. So, okay. Then we have one more, what we can say, research scenario for the cases where we can use such research tips or scenarios for different type of cyber stalking cases. Okay. So here, if we can see, we have a start over there. We have to plan. So the plan to get a girl, let's say a plan to get a girl for some kind of sexual activity, that will go to the action plan. It will roam to going to the chat rooms on the online websites and the social sites. Then it will come to the observation where the search girls on the internet. Then it will come to the part of reflection, then plans, actions, observation. So these all stages have been help us to identify how we can come to the conclusion part in the case of cyber stalking. So these approaches can be used for the cyber stalking scenarios where we can utilize the machine learning approaches, and we can use the 6 stated modules to find out the particular victims. Next, okay, what can be now the prevention methods for the cyber stalking? If we'll talk about the preventive methods, so it is not just bound towards these 4 apps. We have thousands and numerous of apps. But if we'll go to some reports, we can see we have some of the very famous worldwide apps such as the Meta, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. So we are here discussing about some of the techniques that you can opt in these all apps and how you can prevent yourself to become a stalker. Okay. Apart from this, if we'll talk about we have one more category, which is the spyware. If someone offers to update or repair something on your phone, go with just caution and follow your gut. If you don't know what they're planning, consider whether having the access corresponding with the increased surveillance or stalking. Be wary of the abuser giving you or your children a new smartphone or a tablet. So because most spyware requires the physical access to the phone to install and set a password to lock on it of a spyware being installed. So you can choose from a number, pattern, fingerprints. So these techniques you can use to prevent yourself from the different type of spywares. So, but if we'll talk about these cases, we have a Snapchat on the top. So on Snapchat, if someone wants to prohibit themselves to to open up their or to lose their personal information. So it will come to the different steps, like how you can perform these actions to stop the stalking. So you have to open the program, drag downwards, and then hit the settings icon in the upper right corner of the Snapchat. Then go to the who can area where you can see the custom to the right. Then you can go to the view my story heading and then just click on the name of the person you wish to keep from seeing your story. So these all things will help you to, prohibit the many individual to not share your personal stories and many of the things. Apart from this, we will talk about Facebook also. Just simply select the privacy shortcuts from the question mark symbols in the upper right corner, then change who may see your post, who may not see your post. Like this, you can, confidentialize your personal profile so that it will not become a victim of the cyberstalker. Then we have a Twitter also. Simply browse to the profile of the person you want to block and select the block at the username from the little gear icon and next to the follow button, and you have done over there. Then finally, we have Instagram. Then for the Instagram, you can toggle into the private account from your profile page by clicking the three small dots in the top right corner. Your followers will be able to see your content, but everyone else will have a first you to ask the permission. We have many message options also, like who can message you, who can see your profiles. If we'll go to the different type of apps also, like LinkedIn, or we can say Thread. So we have different varieties of security option that is available in the setting. So this paper is also more focusing on the various types of apps where what techniques and how you can customize your settings. So you can make your account more open up towards your friends and more private towards the unknown individual in the cyberstalkers. Then apart from this, we also have some of the tips that have been discussed in the paper, apart from the machine learning algorithm, that the personal information should not be shared on the social media platform. So it may appear, but it may make you safer. Okay, and make sure your social media accounts have a privacy setting in the place. Most sites allow you to set the profile to the private. So do an internet search of your whole name on a regular basis to see what comes up. You can control what the other people say about you online, but you can be aware of what the information is available about you. Okay, apart from this, if a password should be safe and secure and they should be changed on a regular basis, always use the alphanumerical password with the special symbols upon a lowercase letters. And be cautious about the email, phone calls, texts, or social media posting requesting the personal information. And never give out the such information to someone you don't know or who isn't able to need it. Okay, except only the friends or a follower and the different apps that have been requested from the peoples you have met. Okay, when creating these social media profiles, also be cautious and set up your account with a different email IDs, not your personal one. So don't feel obliged to fill out all the information unless it's required. Okay, like your address, your phone number, and birth date. So, and if feasible, use a profile photo that isn't easily identified as you. And to keep your data safe, update your computer and the phone software on the regular basis. So these all, we can say, techniques can be utilized. All of these internet and the social apps, apart from these fours, to not become victimized of the cyber stalking. Then, if this is the conclusion, and thank you for hearing me out. And I also want to thank the members, co-chairpersons, and the organizing committee of the 7th International Conference of Artificial Intelligence in Medical Engineering and Education. Thank you.